What are the benefits of meditation? Hello, I'm Chris Brooks from High Performance Learning. We teach people the skills they need to be able to excel at their education. We encourage our clients to learn meditation so they get used to observing what's going on in their minds. This makes it easier for us to teach them how to develop and monitor their thinking and learning processes. Meditation also improves concentration and increases people's motivation to do well. I've made a series of recorded guided meditations that are available from our website, www.highperformancelearning.com. I hope this video encourages you to try meditation. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it. It may even change your life completely, like it did for me. The scientifically proven benefits of meditation. Since the 1950s, there have been hundreds of studies on meditation, most of them reporting a variety of positive benefits of meditation. Personally, I'm not prepared to endorse any scientific studies on meditation, not because I don't agree with their findings, but because I'm a behavioral scientist. I have a university degree in psychology and I specialized in research methods and mathematics. So I've looked at many psychological studies, but I can't say any of them have proved things conclusively. Psychological experiments usually rely on subjective information, so they cannot prove things objectively like physics or chemistry experiments can. Even brain studies are not a lot of help. The brain does enable thinking to happen, but measuring chemical and electrical changes in the brain does not measure what is going on in the mind. The mind is not a physical object, even though the mind somehow resides in our brains. Even though computers were modelled on our brains, the thinking that computers do is nothing like the thinking we do. A better analogy for one brain would be the whole of the internet, except that one brain works in a much more complex way than all the computers attached to the internet at the same time. On the internet, pieces of information go directly from one computer to another computer, but our brains are made up of trillions of brain cells, each of which sends messages to and receives messages from many other brain cells at the same time. It's not even possible to define what a mind is, except in simplistic terms. Even the concept of thought is difficult to define. Try looking up the words mind and thought in the dictionary, and you will see that their definitions are circular. It's impossible to do conclusive scientific studies about things we don't understand and can't even define clearly. But there are lots of things in our lives that we can't prove scientifically. That doesn't mean we stop doing them. If you would like to find out about scientific research into meditation, a good starting point would be the article in Wikipedia called Research on Meditation. The commonly claimed benefits of meditation. Meditation is free, and you are in control of what you do or don't do with your meditation. So if you want to try meditation, I will outline some of the claimed possible benefits you may be able to enjoy and give you my personal take on them. To place my comments in context, I am a long-term meditator. Meditation has helped me transform my life and make it immeasurably better than it was before. As an educator, I encourage my clients to meditate and have produced a number of guided meditations to help them learn how to meditate easily. Claim 1. Meditation aids in stress reduction. There is quite a lot of support for this in the literature, including benefits such as lowering psychological stress, helping managing anxiety, and reducing depression symptoms. Meditation was also found to be helpful in treating substance abuse and eating disorders. Mindfulness meditation helps us become more aware of what's going on in our minds so we can consciously notice the nature of the thoughts that go through our minds. Worry is frequent repetition of negative thoughts. Worry raises the level of stress hormones such as adrenaline in our blood, which makes us feel stressed. Once we're aware of the unnecessary repetition of these negative thoughts, we are able to get control over them, and instead use our mind to find solutions to problems. If we decide there is nothing we can do about a problem, then we can instruct our mind to let it go. Claim 2. Meditation builds a more coherent sense of self and identity. The literature suggests that meditators take more responsibility for their actions, are more authentic, have more compassion for others, have higher levels of self-acceptance, and have a more coherent and clearly defined character and personality. Mindfulness meditation requires you to set aside part of your mind to monitor what the rest of your mind is doing. It's like creating a new self. This new self then works with the rational part of your mind to analyze what's going on in the automatic part of your mind, and is then in a position to make non-emotional decisions about how you use your mind, how to take responsibility for your emotions, and what you do with your life. Claim 3. Meditation increases the ability to separate thoughts from emotions. Most of the time, thoughts and emotions flow through people's minds without being examined. Research suggests meditation leads to a more controlled response to emotional events and less over-analysis or worry about thoughts and emotions which lead to maladaptive ego defense mechanisms such as denial, distortion, transference, projection, and so on. Apart from meditators and people who keep a diary, most people don't usually set aside regular periods of time to think about their thoughts and emotions in a detached and analytical way. So it's no surprise that their minds will use unconscious mental tricks to protect themselves from needless worry. Meditators, on the other hand, become aware of damaging thought patterns and can decide to do something about them, sometimes using formal meditation techniques such as focused contemplation of the problem. Meditation makes you a lot better at managing unwanted thoughts than taking drugs or using technology and addictions to escape from your overactive mind. Claim 4. Meditation improves attention and focus. More stable and sustained attention, less distractibility, better task completion, and higher executive control over attention are all commonly found in the research. Meditation is an exercise in controlling your attention, so it's no surprise that you become more efficient and effective in the tasks you undertake. Claim 5. Meditation changes the brain. The research is pretty conclusive about meditation causing short-term and long-term physical changes in the brain, such as significant increases in the amount of grey matter in the precuneus. The precuneus appears to be the part of the brain where we store mental imagery about the self, including self-consciousness and self-awareness. It is also linked to episodic memory and visuospatial imagery. I am quite skeptical about modern neurotechnological studies into the mind which measure and map brain activity. Noticing that one part of your brain becomes a bit more active when thinking certain thoughts does not give us meaningful information about how minds work. In conclusion, meditation is not difficult to do, so research meditation by trying it out for yourself for a while. The easiest and most effective way to learn how to meditate is to use guided meditations. I've produced a series of guided meditations suitable for beginners and experienced meditators. These guided meditations are available from our website www.highperformancelearning.com. Why don't you give them a try?